know, you know.
Oh, I love it.
Are you saying yes to the dress?
Absolutely. Yes.
Say yes to the dress with Tan France, tonight 7:30 on TLC.
This is sick.
What are you getting us into?
See? It's easy.
Hey, trust me.
Oh my God, Max!
I'm not sure. How do we get down?
If anyone called 911, they'd be here by now. If you don't confront your fears, you are always going to be afraid.
Hunter, no! Hunter!
Fall.
McClay puts one in, it's off the first and it's in! Off the flash! And what a fabulous finish from Taylor!
Hello, this is the Midday News. Thanks for joining us. Police Minister Peter Chiamalili Jr. has received consent from the member for Bulolo Sam Basil Jr. on the release of public information on arrests in Australia relating to the arrest of alleged drug traffickers. This includes connections to an illegal flight carrying drug in 2023 and the apprehension last week of women in Queensland allegedly linked to the movement of illegal drugs. In a media statement, Minister Chiamalili said he was not privy to operational information related to this particular case because police have operational independence from the elected leadership. The minister said if more arrests are made in relation to the matter raised by MP, this would be from the outcome of ongoing police investigations and information will be released at the appropriate time. The Madang Provincial Electoral Commission Office is preparing to host the local level government elections this year with tentative dates already out. Provincial Returning Officer Sponsor Navi has confirmed that groundwork has begun. Initial work will begin on recruiting casuals to conduct household surveys to update Madang's common roll. Manpower will be sourced from the provincial administration with a listing of names from each ward and LLG provided for training. The issue of writs is Thursday, June 27, 2024.
Hopefully by next week we should have the names come out and then they are informed and then we will have briefing, training with them. And then they will start by middle of February, they should start the exercise.
Amidst the aftermath of recent turmoil in Port Moresby, on January 10th, resilient individuals emerged as Hansang Heroes safeguarding community shopping centre from potential harm. Byron Supermarket, situated on Taurama Road, not only serves as a local convenience store, but has proven to be a lifeline for nearby residents and the travelling public. In a heart-turning display of gratitude for the community's unwavering support and courage in protecting the store from looters, Byron's management extended their appreciation by presenting essential food items. Community representatives warmly received this gesture, emphasizing the importance of standing united during times of chaos. The small-medium enterprise Abusnak Kumu officially opened its construction and fit-out at Steamship's compound today. Owner and Managing Director Richard Mark said The objective is to build up momentum on what Port Moresby's residents can expect once they open for business. He said it takes commitment to start, and once you start, you have to finish the journey.
The best location. I guess I'll leave this one to Jordan. You know, you want to create an iconic place. Huh? There's a saying, you build it, people will come. And I guess that's where Jordan is.
The National Weather Service issued a heavy rain and flood warning today for Western NCD, Central and Milne Bay provinces. The symptomatic situation is a monsoon through line extending southeast from the coastline of Western Province to the coastline of Gulf, Port Moresby, Central and to Milne Bay. Heavy rains may cause potential heavy flooding and possible landslides. A tropical low gale force wind situated at Coral Sea is expected to intensify into tropical cyclone Kirili with a southwest trajectory towards Townsville, Australia. The gale force wind warning applies to all inland areas and coastal water of Yule Island, Port Moresby to Hood Point, to Samurai Islands, to Alotau, to Western Milne Bay Islands, Finsafen to Vitia Strait, western tip of West New Britain, including western sector of Solomon and Coral Seas. A small craft, boat and seagoing vessels are advised to take necessary precautions before going out or avoid going out to sea at all. In regional news, Queensland are being warned to prepare for twin disaster, a tropical cyclone, then widespread flooding in what could be a long-lasting emergency. A tropical low in the Coral Sea is expected to reach cyclone strength overnight or early tomorrow, likely crossing the coast on Thursday night, somewhere between Cuddle and Early Beach.
They're no strangers to natural disasters, and these North Queenslanders aren't taking any chances.
Shovel some sandbags and hope for the best and don't get flooded.
You never know what it's going to do. We went through Cyclone Debbie in Early Beach, so we were there, so we know how it can, it can move.
On the sandy strand in Townsville, the stinger nets have been hauled in. Locals braving the heat to batten down the hatches. Off the coast, Cyclone Kirili is brewing. The tropical low is set to reach cyclone status by tomorrow morning, likely making landfall overnight on Thursday between Cardwell and Airlie Beach.
These communities can expect impacts within the next 24 to 48 hours.
What comes after the crossing is also a major concern. Days of rain potentially stretching into next week.
Some of the models predict more than a metre of rain, and that's a massive amount of water on already saturated catchments.
Emergency services are getting ready for widespread severe weather impacts. Police have been pre-deployed to at-risk communities, swiftwater rescue teams are on standby, and Ergon is stationing southern crews in Rockhampton, ready to respond to power outages. The impending cyclone is already taking a toll on tourism in the Whitsundays.
Most operations will be closing overnight, so they'll probably be out for 4 or 5 days.
Have you ever lived through a cyclone?
Never in our lives. A winter storm is just about as good as it gets for us back home.
These yachties on a round-the-world sailing challenge have been forced to shelter in Airlie Beach.
We've done what we can, and we'll see what comes our way.
For now, it's a waiting game as the system takes its time to arrive.
Paramedics in the capital will work less overtime and get more regular meal breaks and time to train under roster changes to be funded by the ACT government in its mid-year budget update. And while the AMBOS union has welcomed the announcement, they are warning more paramedics will be needed to make it work.
For decades, paramedics like Simon Gallagher have geared up to face back-to-back 14-hour night shifts before switching straight to day shifts. He says he and his colleagues have been feeling the strain.
We've got quite very professional staff, so it is good that everyone's done their best to get through, but yeah, some nights have been extremely difficult and some of the staff have been struggling with the night shifts.
It's already a stressful and often traumatic job. The union says the pressure has pushed some paramedics out of the service.
It was implemented some 40 years ago when life was different in Canberra. Not quite the same workload.
The government has conceded a roster change is needed and will be funded with $20 million over 4 years.
So they'll only be doing one night shift pattern now of 10 hours, followed by shoulder shifts during those important emergency times.
It is also addresses the issue of fatigue and work-life balance, and it's built in for us to allow a lot of training opportunities to occur on shift.
The government says there'll also be 45 additional staff joining the service over the next 18 months, with conditions expected to attract paramedics from other jurisdictions.
And that will both staff this new roster, but it will also allow us to meet the increasing demand and workload that we face.
The union's members will vote on changes to their enterprise agreement in the coming days.
The Tamworth Country Music Festival presents a variety of sounds of music, including country, rock and folk. Workshops are taking place during the festival which allow artists to collaborate and inspire each other to find new sounds.
Well, down here at the Country Music Festival, one of those workshops you've mentioned has just finished, Music with Soul workshop. I'm joined by one of the people who ran that workshop, Jen Myers, who's a musician herself. Jen, combining country music with soul, is it? How exactly do the two mix?
Well, they mix fairly easily. They've been coming together a long time. So today, here at the Press in Tamworth, got together with two of my friends, Kelly Bruhaha and Link Phelps, and we just did a songwriters round, Songwriters with Soul. So it's a country, soul, and blues mix. Sometimes that's called Americana music, and you can throw in a little rock and roll in there sometimes too. So yeah, Tamworth offers a little bit more than just straight up and down country music these days. There's a little variety here.
We've heard plenty of genres going around, rock and roll as well. What does it mean to see so many styles of music being presented at the Country Music Festival?
Well, I think country music is essentially roots music. And roots music is anything that comes from a place of the heart and soul, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's just country. So here at Tamworth Country Music Festival, there's a little bit for everyone. Yeah.
So what is it about soul music then that sort of gave you the spark to try and combine it with country?
Well, I guess country music and gospel music both come from the same place, really. They cross over a lot, and gospel music and soul music are cousins. So we're only cousins once removed, country and soul, I think. Yeah.
And you had an absolutely packed out facility here. What does it mean to see so many people engaging with this kind of music?
Well, it's really special. Here at the Press, it's a really beautiful listening room, and that's a songwriters round. So the audience is really kind of pulled in. We're telling stories, laughing, telling tales. It gets a little bawdy sometimes, and we're all having a good time, and the cocktails here are great, so, could be worse.
So what is it just about music in general that no matter what sound it is, it just seems to somehow bring people together?
Well, I think music is like a language that we all share. It's something that no matter who you are or where you're from, what language you speak, it's universal. And I think Tamworth Country Music Festival has a long, long life ahead of it.
Jen, thank you so much for joining us. Jen Myers there with the Sounds of Soul Music Workshop here at the Tamworth Country Music Festival.
But Peter, we don't get to hear Jen sing anything to sing us out?
Oh, you didn't get any of the overlay. She sent through an entire amazing performance just beforehand. It was a fantastic show she just presented.
In sports, Cricket PNG remain hopeful to host international matches in the country, despite the recent incident in the nation's capital district. Chief Executive Officer of Cricket PNG, Richard Dawn, expressed that the recent incident in the city would potentially in some ways raise concern for international cricket teams to play on PNG soil when thinking of hosting one-day international cricket in the country. However, Dawn believes through cricket, PNG can convince the international community that it is a wonderful experience here and a good cricket destination for them.
As we all know, the last couple of weeks has been pretty difficult in PNG, and hopefully we get the opportunity to convince people that, you know, coming to PNG is an exciting experience and something that, you know, they can look forward to as a cricket destination.
That ends the midday news update. Join us for more at 6 p.m.